and welcome to the SmackDown review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture. I'm WhatCulture. Here to review everything that happened on this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we're not going to review SmackDown, but also the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. We know about AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round-up of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to review this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Should we? One more time? No, only certain people can get away with that. You all right?
Historic salute, because this is not for present-day SmackDown. This is for the many, like all big salutes, many great years of service for Da Blue brand.
Yes.
Take it down now. I'm not just getting reactionary, because that's not what people do on YouTube.
Okay.
I think we can now consider this a down period for the show. I think there are elements to get excited about. I think even in a down period, it's slower today, but it's still red hot.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So you still get a promo of the year candidate.
Yeah.
On this.
Two, arguably.
Maybe. I'm forgetting one. A promo of the year candidate cut from someone's car on this very show. A development for your top star that I think is genuinely fascinating, and this can still stink. I
had a great time watching
That's
this
how
show.
good I think WWE is at the moment. I thought this stunk. Context.
Yes, this is crucial.
Did not watch on a Saturday morning, half between my phone, then big telly, since Netflix got the deal.
Yeah.
And I can just easily flip between the two. Normally it's all on phone, like making the noises that make it sound like I'm listening to my children's needs and wants and desires, or really watching SmackDown. Now it's like some of their needs and wants and desires are actually a bit of SmackDown, which is really helpful to me post Royal Rumble. No, this was watched at like, I don't know, quarter to midnight no, that's an exaggeration, because I was done by 1:30. So like 11:30 or something. After a brilliant weekend in London with one fatal error made, fatal being that it killed my enjoyment of the show possibly. Yeah. Got a flight back because it was cheaper and quicker than planes, feeling flash, and then realised the error of our ways when it was, it's a Sunday.
Yeah,
and
go slow, innit?
Everything took ages to get back from Newcastle just to where we live with other forms of transport and the like. And then that moment of, at least we're home. At least you can just sort of chill out. Brilliant weekend, tired and all that. It's the Family Guy gag from when the band in prison. Oh, shit, I've got to watch SmackDown. Like, it just hit all at once. I'd been, not like as online as I would be normally. I was busy enough that I wasn't glued to my phone like I normally would be. But I had gone the whole weekend without seeing any discussion. It hadn't particularly made its way at the timeline, at least not when I was scrolling. Maybe it was stuff like the Super Bowl hype getting in the way, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an episode of Collision. It wasn't an episode of Collision.
Collision review coming later.
Dominating the conversation. But for whatever reason, SmackDown hadn't really seemed to cut through. And I was like, oh God, I need to watch it. Well, I at least haven't been spoiled. Positive, no spoilers. Negatives, most of this 3-hour show. I look forward to your sales pitch of a review, because I thought this was bad. I thought this had like multiple cases of bad booking and yet more evidence that this 3-hour SmackDown thing can't come to an end quick enough. Like June.
Yeah, a 2-hour would have been. I still agree on that point.
Enough content for a 2-hour SmackDown here, but I wouldn't say a lot of it was very good.
See, I quite enjoyed this show. I watched it Saturday afternoon. We'd been to 7 Stories.
Oh, yeah.
To watch a bit of story time. He'd had a run around. We went to meet a giant tiger in the special tiger came to tea room.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
So we were having fun there, and then a bit of a nap. Time for Daddy to watch some SmackDown.
I thought, because they're the best stories.
Yeah.
Like, there's a minimum of 7 stories per SmackDown.
I need more stories. And I really enjoyed this show in terms of...
You got any of the story flaws?
Yeah, we went to the Mog room. Spoiler alert, I didn't realise Mog dies at the end of the Mog books. Yeah. I was like, what's that story, Mummy?
That's Mog's fatal ending.
And there's an Elmer the Elephant room coming soon, which we're very excited about.
We used to be a big Elmer territory.
I had a nice bit of lemon and blueberry cake, which...
lemon and blueberry?
Yeah.
I like the sound
went
of that.
down well. Just a good day, all in all.
I had fancy food this weekend.
Chesterfield didn't play, so I was in a good mood.
Couldn't ruin your weekend.
Well, they already had made my weekend by winning 5-2 on Thursday night. Thursday, Wednesday, one of those days. Smashed Doncaster. Thanks for playing, boys. Oh, it's nearly top of the table. Are you sure about that?
Playoff specking? Yes.
It's looking more likely all of our new signings scored, basically. Yeah, very promising. And
looking more likely for the playoffs.
I thought I was going to be in a lot worse state this morning, considering how late I stayed up last night to watch the Super Bowl. Enjoyed Kendrick Lamar.
What I've seen of that looks great.
I think I watched that show going, well, at least I'm not Drake.
Yeah.
So, and the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely destroyed Kansas City. So
that was where WrestleMania was last year, wasn't it?
Yes.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I was going to say they're in New Orleans, but yes.
That's my reason to have a team in this. Yeah.
I made a Philly cheesesteak wrap. I should sausage this on the Collision review. I made it. I say I made it. It was like a pack, and I just cooked some steak, basically. But I cooked on Sunday night. We had waffles. I used my waffle maker. That's why I was in a good mood on Saturday morning. Used my waffle maker.
Savoury waffles or sweet waffles?
Sweet waffles.
That was
insane.
That was one of my first. We've done early job talk recently, haven't we? That was one of my first jobs. In a waffle and donut hole in the wall in Filey, North Yorkshire, and you would just make the
hole in the donut, surely.
Yeah.
Did no wonder you can keep that job very long. Where's the hole in my donut? It's in the wall. Brilliant.
Keep looking for work just down through the donut. Yeah, the waffle. You could double the mixture. And then it would you'd see it corrupt in the waffle maker. You pull the waffle iron down, then you'd see it trying to burst out from underneath the machine because it's too powerful. It would lift it up. I had posh breakfast this weekend.
Ooh, not fancy day.
Yeah, I had. So we were staying in London, and there was a fancy breakfast spot, as in £12 to £15 per breakfast.
Jesus,
I know. We can't
even expense it.
We don't have breaks.
At least we're on London trips with work.
We don't have breaks like this very often, so we decided to have a treat. And on one of the days, I got the salmon and cheese omelette. Wilbourn.
Come on.
My wife got the main sort of cooked breakfast, and it didn't come with beans, so I was quite jealous, and I got that the next day. Because it was like you said, the standard breakfast, and they didn't. The way this cafe worked, there was you couldn't make alterations, no adjustments, something. I was like, well, I'm not taking that chance. I'm not some sort of renegade. I'm not going to take my life in my own hands. If beans are on that plate,
I'll ruin this weekend.
The whole thing's ruined. Not just the breakfast, the weekend is ruined. But it was mushrooms and tomatoes with the non-beans related breakfast items.
I hate tomatoes on a breakfast.
I get rid. I don't need it. I like tomatoes, but I don't like cooked tomatoes on a breakfast. And mushrooms, I don't like, but I just don't eat them. Mushrooms are brush aside food for me. I take what food can be brushed aside quite seriously. You
make a list of the brush aside foods now.
I think
Sid will have his 2.999 kick out merchants, and you can have brush aside foods.
Brush aside foods. Brush aside foods for the annoyingly picky eaters amongst us are the type of foods that you can get out the way without it ultimately corrupting your dinner. A brush aside food. The salad, a non-brush aside food, the dressed salad.
Okay.
Because at this point, the vinaigrette is soaked through the lettuce and is now potentially likely to threaten the other stuff on your plate. A brush aside food, mushrooms. A non-brushed aside food, beans. Because the bean juice will absolutely pool around everything else.
Well, unless you use the sausages as breakwater.
It's a fantastic partridge joke, but it's inaccurate.
Because it
sausages finds a way. It's the old catchphrase, beans find a way.
What you need to do is we'll have a cooked breakfast, and I'll just lick the beans off your sausage, and
You'll
then
flick the beans.
I'll clean your sausage, and then you can just have at it. It's an option.
That is an
option to bear in mind.
We are all in our 30s, mate.
Yeah.
But the brush side foods were manageable, so that I could enjoy the rest of the breakfast.
I've always marvelled at someone who has the confidence to persuade the breakfast venue to trade cooked tomato for an extra hash brown. I'm always just like, well, I'll take what I'm given and just, like you say, push those cooked tomatoes to this one side.
I think that's why they put it on the menu, because they must have been sick of people asking, and it takes a lot longer to order. There was like big queues in this place. It's obviously a popular place around there. I had a quick Google because there's like, it's London. There's a gazillion breakfast spots, and then you have to like use star ratings and the like. And it was busy when we were there, but I'm guessing it's because of stuff like that. It was the same with like, they had like sweet and savoury waffles. That's what made me think of it. And it looked awesome, but there was just like, they were throwing a lot of shit on there. And there was like some bits I wanted, some bits I didn't.
Yes.
And I just thought,
Don't take the risk.
Well, yeah, like it's our little holiday and I want it all to be right. I don't like when I'm forced to make compromises. Speaking of which, the lattes came in, I
saw this.
Like mini vases rather than cups. Like it was fine because they were so thick that when you held it, it didn't burn your hand. It actually warmed it. So I feel like it's a cup made by design for lattes, and it's not just sort of they've gone to IKEA and bought some of those mini pots and thought we could put brews in there. Yeah, a choice was made, but it did feel like hey, you've added an extra quid. The least you could do is give me a handle.
Yeah,
like. I don't know.
Anyway,
was great.
I was going to say, we had a tweet from Brian, he of the SmackDown Photoshop, asking, excited for the SmackDown review, but mainly excited for, Super Bowl fallout. What's there to discuss? Patrick Mahomes is washed. He's not, but...
He's the Chiefs guy that
he got done. But yeah, Taskmaster fallout. How was it?
Amazing. Really, really great. I want to be careful to not spoil, because they ask you not to, like, you don't take your phone out during the game itself. Highest recommendation if you're a Taskmaster fan while it's still on. Taskmaster, the live experience, I think it's called. It's in London. They have tickets on sale, because I would say it's a little bit overpriced if you're paying full price, but not if you're getting the discount ones like we got. And obviously it depends where you're traveling from. It's a long way of traveling. I've heard comedians and people that go on Taskmaster speak about how it's the nicest show they've ever done, in how comfortable they're made to feel, because a lot of it is about looking silly.
Yes.
And to look silly is to kind of like submit to the bit a little bit and allow yourself to loosen up and look daft, because failing the task is often as fun as succeeding in it, and the tasks are designed to kind of make you look a bit silly or a bit rash or whatever.
Think outside the box.
All that kind of thing. It couldn't have nailed that vibe more. I didn't want to tell my wife this because she's mad into these like things that I hate, escape rooms and the like puzzly stuff.
Yes.
I hate that. I like, don't put yourself in the room if you can't get yourself out really easily. I fundamentally...
We should do an escape room.
I don't want to.
Nicholas, write that down.
No. The very premise of an escape room winds me up. It's like, you have entered a dark medieval pit and there is only one light in the corner. An urchin gives you one bit of advice. Do be careful of the dripping fridge. And then you have to...
I love it.
I hate it, right? I hate it. And I was thinking, is this just going to be that, but with like the Taskmaster branding stapled on it? No, it's not. You 100% feel... It's so immersive in that respect. You really do feel like you're watching something on the show. You do it in a... They've like made a mock-up of the house.
I love that. I saw the caravan on your...
So like you can go and like sit and have a drink in the Taskmaster garden. There's like for fans of the TV show, there's like a Taskmaster museum where they've like a load of like the old tasks where they've been able to bring some of the props in. They've like really lovingly restored them. People when like they've done like illustrations of Greg as one of the tasks or something. They've got them all like framed on the wall. Just stuff from like, it's been like 18 series now.
Yeah.
So there's loads and loads of lore. All this stuff you can look at. There's tasks in the garden. There's like a red green out where you can like, you've got to throw the potato into the red green. You can't touch the red green and all that kind of thing.
Oh, the controversy around that.
Yeah. You recreate the iconic moments yourself. And then all the tasks take place individually in the room with like the plastic wrap down the walls, the
Patrick Bateman room.
The Patrick Bateman room, the room that they go into, you know, the one with the door out into the garden.
Yeah.
There's a task that takes place in that room.
Awesome.
There's like the final task of the show. So there's like, they make like a makeshift stage, which is like
Wonderful.
really great if you're good at tasks like my wife. But don't worry, there's a place for you, the losers, if you like me, where like there's something for you both to do as part of the final task. And though I won't spoil the specifics, anybody that enjoys Taskmaster will know that so often you will be given a bunch of intricate instructions, and the trick is to like willfully ignore them and find the quick way to complete the task. And I did that.
I'm so proud of you.
I did that one time.
Oh my God.
And I felt like I had the biggest dick in the business, like for all of a few minutes.
Yeah.
I think I might ask her about this tonight and then bring this back on Friday's preview.
Okay.
I'll fact check what I'm about to say, because we have nothing if not our integrity in this podcast. In the 21 years we've been together and the near 15 years we've been married, I think there is going to be less than 10 times my wife has loved me more than when I discovered this thing that was, as soon as I said it, like her eyes lit up and so did mine. I was like, we've won this task.
Yeah.
We're going to get 5 points here. Like, I'm going to ask her, I really, really think about the times you have, with all your heart, no caveats.
Yeah, bring the top 5 moments and see if it makes it.
Maybe that. I'm not going to promise that, but like 5 times you love me the most, and let's see, honestly, where like finding this particular thing in a Taskmaster task ranked, because I think it's way up there. I know, don't get me wrong. If I'd be honest with her, it'd be like sort of, I can go to WrestleMania. Like that's way up there on mine too. I think we could be straight with each other in that regard. But yeah, I think I saw something in her that is
twinkle.
It's rare these days. Most of the twinkles have twinkled out, but there was one right there.
Just lean over. Remember that time I scored 5 points on Taskmaster? Huh? Love it.
Maybe the mugs don't need handles after all.
We will get to nickname gate as well in due course on the show.
Yeah.
Remind me to circle back to that a little bit later on. But, you know, we've got all this to get through when it comes to SmackDown, including Jamie Nash, who spotted the all this pet malarkey shop and sent us a picture. Thank you, Jamie, for that.
I'm assuming they sell animals and so much more.
Indeed. But that's not bad. 16 odd minutes in.
That's quite good.
Let's get into this week's episode of SmackDown. All the recap from the Royal Rumble, of course. And then here comes Jey Uso. Yeet! Phil, that's the name of my child. Eric has got that nailed now. He loves Jacob Fatu, and he goes do. And now yeeting in the bath is one of his favourite things because it splashes the water everywhere.
The WWE, I think I've mentioned this on another podcast. WWE, for some reason, hasn't been all that sophisticated in the upload to Netflix of the old stuff. And it's meant that the WWE rating is, I think, 12 or 15.
Okay.
You can't get it on kids' Netflix.
I see.
I think they need to address that quickly because I have to password protect my Netflix at this point. The kids are allowed it on their bedroom TVs. They've got TVs in the room for the first time, and you could password protect it based on ages, and they cannot see all the stuff on their faces. It's like when my 9-year-old said he loved watching Squid Game. And
what?
Yeah, I know.
That's not for you.
That exact response, and it turns out it was like a kid's version of it.
Oh, thank God.
Play the games, but there's no murder. And because, of course, you can't see the shoot one just yet. Not the shoot one. It's all at work. But, like, people aren't really dying out there, but you get it. WWE needs to fix that.
Yeah.
Because both the kids post-Royal Rumble have been after more. And I don't know if they're getting the bug, but I really want them to. And I'm having to enter the password each time. So for the PG-related stuff, I think I need to find a way for that to filter through
Definitely.
Kids Netflix.
Because Jay took 10 minutes to start talking on this show. I know there was like a bit of the Rumble stuff, but he does his entrance, he does should we do it again? Everyone loves it.
Do you find, like, we're tuning in for SmackDown, a wrestling show feature. Do you think it's like a little bit unprofessional that he spends that long before he gets to like the subject matter?
He needs
10
to.
minutes.
Come on, what are you playing at? He's had a hell of a week, he says. A lot of love from his family and fans and friends and everyone in between throughout this week. There's You Deserve It chance, quite rightly. But he says, I'm here to pick an opponent for WrestleMania. I've done it with Gunther, now I want to stand face-to-face with the WWE champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cody Rhodes. And out he comes, limping a little bit, understandably, selling what happened at the Royal Rumble. And Cody asks Memphis, and Jey Uso, I should say, what do you guys want to talk about? So he says. But he knows what we're all here to talk about.
Sorry, I think your mic wasn't working there. Do you want to
Sorry. What do you guys want to talk about?
There you go, that's better.
Jay reminds Cody, or Cody reminds Jay, I can't remember which way I've written this now. 2 choices to make. Gunther or Cody. I suppose 1 choice technically, but still. Cody says, my bloody hip is out of alignment. I've got some fluid needs draining from my elbow. But my heart is full because you won the Royal Rumble. This is going to be your WrestleMania. He mentions the fact that they've had some libations in the past, which was nice.
Do you feel him, sir?
I do indeed. Maybe they could go and party on Beale Street after this. Ian Beale Street, of course, to give it its full title. But Cody gets on with it and says, look, congratulations and all that, but I'm going to have to win at WrestleMania. So if you choose me, well, we'll have some fun tonight, but then I'm going to kick you. No, he doesn't say I'm going to kick you. Then he says, that'll be the last time. But Jey and Cody shake hands, and then out of nowhere, out comes what's left of the new bloodline. Jacob Fatu! And Tama Tonga, that might be the next thing I get Eric into. Yeah. I don't think he said anything else, actually. It was all Jacob Fatu.
It's exclusive catchphrases, bloodline adjacent catchphrases.
Yeah.
It all leads to him, like doing a Roman Reigns. You get home from work one day and he's just
as soon as I walk in the door.
As soon as you walk in.
Yeah. But Jacob talks about Cody taking the title from his family, and the family needs the title back. And he turns to Jey Uso, Mr. Yeet Man, as he calls him. If anyone's going to bring the title back to the family, sure as hell's not going to be you. Uso's heard enough. He super kicks Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu hits him with a super kick and then attacks Cody, and Cody's obviously injured, so he's struggling against him. But as Fatu goes for one of those deadly hip attacks, Jey cuts him off with a super kick, and Jey and Cody clothesline them over the top to inevitably set up the main event.
Yeah, good. Like nice compared to powerful. Like if you're comparing Jey Uso's Raws and SmackDown, I think like that was quite a moving scene on Monday.
Yeah.
And this was more of a pleasant sequel.
Yeah.
The rollback thing is real. They're not like, they are orchestrating it, but it's not organic. People do want to do it. People in the building do want to have
I don't think they planned on that on Raw.
No.
I think he just sort of went, I've got enough time.
Yeah, like, and then on SmackDown, it's like, we can make a bit out of
They know
this. And now every town's going to want to do it, and it's absolutely part of the Jey Uso appeal, and it's going to sell tickets, and you do that. Like, absolutely do that. And I really liked the continued subtle character development of Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Like, we acknowledged with the Rumble, there was kind of a nuanced take on the babyface wins the big blood feud with Kevin Owens, because he needed to be as big an arsehole as he was to really hammer home just how much of a friend Sami Zayn was being to Kevin, and he was picking him in that moment, so that when Kevin eventually turns, it was like, well, but he's picking you, mate. Come on. Like, you needed Cody as that third person in that to make sense of that, and I think they've carried that over quite nicely with Jey Uso here. This idea of, it's all fun and games, but if you come for this, it's business, and it's my business, and it's like a sort of, it's the angel on Jay's shoulder instead of Gunther's devil, isn't it?
Yes.
Because both of them are kind of saying the same thing. They're just doing it in a different way. Don't do it, Jey, because we're going to kick your ass.
Yeah. It's
going to be a waste of your big moment. But Cody can dress it up in a, I'm your mate. I'm not letting you have this title back.
Yeah.
It's my story. It's my story forever. You can't have my story. Get your own story. And Gunther's kind of trying to neg him into just avoiding it altogether because he'll kick his ass like he did at Saturday Night's Main Event. So they're not that far apart, are Gunther and Cody. And what both of those are doing in their own way is putting Jey Uso over, because they don't want to fight him that much. So I think that's quite interesting. It is increasingly, is this just me? Is it feeling like they're going to go all the way with Jey Uso as the main eventer in night one?
I think so. I've come round to that way of thinking.
Yeah.
If it goes the way I think it's going to go, if it goes the way I hope it's going to go, spoiler, Punk wins the Chamber and faces Cody, then I think it's a no-brainer. I
really
apologise. I think some of the women's matches, Io, Rhea, Charlotte, Tiff, I think are going to be absolutely sensational, but I think justifiably, there are your two main events. Punk, Cody, and night one, Jey versus Gunther.
Cody used the words, didn't he? Every year it's somebody's WrestleMania. And at the moment, it's Jey Uso's and Jey Uso's alone. And if Punk doesn't win the Chamber, it's not going to feel like Cena or Cody's, is it? It's going to feel like Jey Uso's WrestleMania.
Just give him the main event and give him Cody. It just makes all the sense in the world.
I am worried for you, because I have already made my peace with this three-way, and I'm
not
watching
yet.
you not do it.
It'll be about
not flinching. That's the
March 2nd. I'll probably have to deal with that, but that's way off.
Whoa, it's over there.
But speaking of the Chamber, in fact, we had numerous qualifiers for it on this show. The first one here being Bianca Belair versus Piper Niven. Bianca tried to get her up for a KOD early on.
She hasn't done that since the multiple times she's done that.
But Niven fights back, grabbing her braid and clotheslining her. Nice spot to take us to a break. Belair against the LED barricade. Niven splashes her and then hits a senton. Stands tall. When we come back, Belair crossbodies Niven from the top rope, goes for a KOD again, but Niven headbutts her way out of it. It's a boss man slam for a 2. Niven tries for a senton. Belair moves and spears Niven. But Belair ends up in the corner and Niven hits her with a cannonball. Goes up top. Belair cuts her off, but Niven slams Belair again and hits a Vader bomb for a 2 count.
Just picturing them in cars, like on the room.
Anyway, Niven posts herself, and from there, with the assistance of the turnbuckle, Bianca Belair gets Niven up for the KOD 1, 2, 3. She's qualified for the chamber. Straightforward, predictable, but that's fine by me.
Yes. Do you know what my problem with this was? Because I thought these two had good. They've always had good chemistry. These two, like Piper Niven, is really good at being like the foil monster. She knows how to reduce herself to being a pantomime villain just as she can like raise herself up to being the big threat of the division. And that's she's a really, really strong utility player for the division. But as a result, she goes up against Bianca Belair and the result's never in doubt, is it? I like the potential booking of Bianca Belair being in the chamber. And I suppose she'd be grateful for that because she could win it. She's not going to win it. But I couldn't help feel like, what are we doing? Like, it's same with the Rumble. I watch Bianca Belair, and maybe it's the time of year, but I have this whole, you're throwing her away. You are, like, I like the Jade Cargill story that we forecast. I even like the kind of fork in the road now of there being a potential big showdown with Naomi, however it shakes out with those three. But I am increasingly feeling like they're wasting her time. It's like there is a point where you can't always be at the top, and you can do very, very positive things underneath until it is your time to go back to the top again. I'm not somebody that just thinks everyone needs to get pushed all the time because that cannot work in practice. It can't. But really, really reflect on the last since she lost the title to Asuka, let's say, because she had that SummerSlam thing and then was immediately cashed in on. Loses the title to Asuka, like a month after WrestleMania 39? Like, that's coming on 2 years. How much of that time has been well spent? And in just this last week, I don't know, maybe it's like with some women getting fired and further like sense that the women's division is not going to get fixed with these belts anytime soon. I was watching this going, she should be a champion of all these brands.
I think I've stumbled across why I like this show, and it's something that Sidge always gets mad at me for, which is not necessarily the stuff on this show, but almost everything on this show, I was like, I can see how that builds to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I really liked about it. I was like, oh.
Maybe, maybe we agree and disagree here, because I can completely see where you're coming from, and I know some of the stuff we're going to get to as we get to it. I am not, increasingly, I'm not yet seeing a couple of the WrestleMania matches I really wanted, and maybe that's what it is. If anything, there's a couple of things on this show that made me think, don't go there, don't do that. But we'll see, I guess. But, I don't know, I still feel like we're in that 2 or 3 cards situation.
Yeah.
And a few key players are going to determine what happens to a lot of other people on the show. So there's sort of a few foo heads where they're hedging the bets a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Cody and Solo is a perfect example of that. Sorry to jump ahead. What are we doing if that's in the Sky Dome when he's had SummerSlam and the big SmackDown payoff and one last go, fair enough. But him, there must be 10 other hims.
I'm into it.
Okay.
But we'll get to it. We go to the back. There's Katana Chance and Caden Carter. They're on SmackDown now, apparently. Yeah. Mello walks in. Love Mello. Well, don't, but do. And he's there with the SmackDown GM. I can't remember what his name is. And there's a request from Adam Pearce that he face someone from Raw. Mello's like, here we go again. But then he realizes or discovers it's Akira Tozawa for what happened at the Rumble. And Mello says it'll be a layup whilst Tozawa mocks him by shouting, airball basketball reference.
Right. Good. Follow up on the Rumble thing.
Yeah.
Caden Carter and Katana Chance have just signed for SmackDown. Akira Tozawa is on Raw. I thought the transfer window slammed shut at the Rumble.
He's not transferred to SmackDown, Tozawa. It was a request. Do you mind?
Chance and Carter?
I think they've transferred, but it was kind of done 11th hour, and it's only the paperwork's only just gone through. Their fax machine, yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Then we get the tag team champions out there. This tickled me somewhat. Yet again, I'm enjoying DIY more the most.
I thought you were going to rag on this whole thing. I was expecting you to be not exactly broken Wilbourn, but I thought you were going to fume a bit at what played out with DIY on the show.
Oh, I liked it. They come out and they get booed, obviously, and they do the BTTITW, best tag team in the world. Motor City Machine Guns, you've had your shots. Your chances are dead. Ciampa says, we respect them. 11 years ago, they were our favourite tag team. But like we said, no chance for them anymore. Everyone stand up, and some people did in the crowd, and have a moment of silence for their title aspirations. Yes, boy! Here comes Pretty Deadly. And Elton Prince talks about how, let's not forget, we kind of helped you a lot along the way. Ciampa, very good this, furious. It's meant to be a moment of silence. But out comes the SmackDown GM, can't remember his name is, and says, you're in no position to do anything, basically, DIY. And tonight, you're gonna face Pretty Deadly, and if they win, they get a title shot. And Gargano, I always like off mic stuff or stuff that's not so like. He's like, yeah, cool. Next week, is it? Like right now, not right now after the ad break, but right now, we're in our street clothes.
I hated it. Of all the investment, I think me and you and maybe nobody else in the entire friggin' internet has had in Pretty Deadly as Johnny Gargano's idiot assistant and Tommaso Ciampa's worst enemies over this last month. I didn't have beat him in a non-title match, get a tag title match. It's such an uncreative climax, if you even want to call it that, to this story that they've been telling. Like, I was really, really disappointed. And my thinking was, oh, well, I guess this isn't it. And DIY are going to beat them. And Gargano's going to try and do see, it's just not your time yet. We just need you to do the so-and-so. Like, and then we got what we got. And I just...
well, maybe because my brain went in a completely different direction. We'll talk after the match.
Yeah,
because the match is joined in progress after the break. Kit Wilson gets the hot tag, stomps on Ciampa, sidewalk slams Gargano. Pretty Deadly hit that nice springboard code breaker of theirs on Gargano for a 2. In the end, it's Ciampa and Prince left in there, and Gargano pulls on Elton Prince's hair. Ciampa rolls him up and grabs the ropes, but Prince rolls through, rolls up Ciampa, and at the last second also grabs the ropes. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, Pretty Deadly's just pinned DIY.
I love Pretty Deadly's sort of backdoor cheating finishes that they do. That was a staple of them as tag champs in NXT, and when they first arrived on SmackDown, they clearly put a lot of thought into how they get to those. The audience was dead for this.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, because this all came out of nowhere. It's like they've just pressed fast forward on a story.
Well, do you want me to say my theory?
Yeah, please do, yeah.
Because they didn't say when the title match was, did they?
I thought it was next week, but maybe not.
Okay. If it is next week, then I'll take this back and be with you and grumpy about it. What I'd like is, so now they have in my version of events, an undisclosed title shot.
Okay.
If that's, I do apologize if I've missed this, by the way. What I'd have them do is be like, hey guys, we want you to hold that title shot. Imagine us fighting at WrestleMania. Hey, we just have to deal with the Street Profits first, right? And then obviously the title shot will happen before that, but it's Profits versus DIY. Possibly in an ideal world, and I know I'm a child, and great, another ladder match. Profits, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Pretty Deadly in a 4-way ladder match for the tag titles at WrestleMania would be nice.
I don't mind that. You are encouraging me to fantasy book a version of this I like more than I do currently. Profits do say...
I'd love the Profits promo later.
Profits want a title shot. There's promise there, but it's with that sort of... Screw it up again, Triple H or what? But you two share your sort of interest in that. And I'm kind of Lenny with that one.
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly. Yeah, all right, yeah. Go and do that. We'll get our shot down the line because the Profits want DIY and all of that. And Pretty Deadly book it or get the shot when they're in the UK.
Yes.
With the help of the UK-based SmackDown GM, who I can't remember the name of, but I'm pretty sure it's from the UK.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It would add such tremendous hype to the experience of WWE being in the UK, wouldn't it?
In London on that Friday, aren't they?
Yeah.
Friday the
20th.
28th.
That's the Friday.
Off the top of my noggin, 28th.
I would say, it should behoove WWE to try and add as much hype to that Friday as possible. But then if they are insistent on not doing that, I guess we could step in.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Go on.
We are going on a world tour, and it will take in Friday the 28th when WWE is in town for SmackDown. We will be there beforehand for the best possible meeting place. It's going to be all the nonsense that we do on this channel, on the YouTube channel. Simon Miller's going to be there. We're going to have all our daft entrances. There's going to be a live podcast. There's going to be Y/ups and downs, depending. It's the perfect place to get hyped for WWE with plenty of time to get there beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to be the only time we're doing that, Wilbourn.
No.
No. We're going to be in Manchester on the 21st of March. We're going to be in Belfast on the 22nd of March. We're going to be in Glasgow on the 24th of March. Basically, if WWE's around, we are too.
Yeah.
And we want to see as many of you out there as possible. It is the best thing we do here, and we want you to be a part of it. Tickets available at whatculture.com/tickets.
And then there's just a small matter of the Friday night before WrestleMania when we're playing the HyperX Arena in Las Vegas.
Oh, my God. Speaking of the HyperX Arena in Las Vegas, and indeed SmackDown, it's the biggest and best SmackDown watch party in all of Las Vegas.
It's going to be. I'm so excited.
It's the dumbest thing we.
I might stage dive.
Wilbourn's going to stage dive, so that means we need to sell enough tickets to justify that. He's a big guy.
Yeah, please buy tickets. Someone has to catch me.
What is a film where the person just goes boom, straight into the air? Yeah, that could be you. I mean, buy the tickets and then just move to the side and let them do that.
We
It's
make a deal that you have to stage dive regardless of how many people.
Yeah.
So like, even if there's literally no one there, you still have to do it.
Buy a ticket for the Vegas show, and you will see a video that was outlawed by YouTube.
It was
it not? Which Wilbourn took of me, without my knowledge, by the way, of simply enjoying a nightclub in Chesterfield and the music the DJ was playing.
Nah, come on.
And Wilbourn played this to Phil Chambers on a live stream on YouTube. The fat cats at YouTube demonetized the whole friggin' video. So we are unable to share this in this realm where it belongs.
I'll play it for you now.
No, don't do that.
And what was the song?
S&M by Rihanna.
Thank you.
In the
Andy going, what else? They copyright strike, right? That'd be me, boss.
It would be perfect for this. The blue of SmackDown has been the blue of Chesterfield. Thank you again, Lee Pickering, for the wonderful.
I've still got it on. I know this is why you're not a festival goer. Why are you still wearing that? I've still got my Spire. I'm sure I should probably get this off. Really.
Yeah, it was. I've got no shame. We're all in our 30s. We've all danced at the club, but we can't show you even if we wanted to because YouTube would take.
Can we put it on the big HyperX screen?
Oh, let's see how tickets go.
Okay,
we can make that happen.
WhatCulture.com/tickets.
But yeah, the UK
living the lyrics is the way I'd describe it.
Yeah. And if that is horrific in your mind, it is nothing compared to what it'd be in your eyes. So join us in Las Vegas to see that.
Sex in the air, I don't care. I love the smell of it, says Michael Hamflett.
Look, tickets are available for all the dates. And again, it's the best way to get hyped up for WWE. We're going to be there in all of those towns. It's the first time we've ever done this, and we cannot wait.
What culture is now in your city?
Well, that's
our thing.
That's immediately. Well, yeah, you just come up with that.
I just come up with it.
That's why we're going to start saying that. Nicholas, you said REIT once, and we should do something with that. That's a good. I don't know where you got the inspiration, but I like it.
Yeah, that's just my brain, mate. Nothing but gold in there.
Back to SmackDown, and we see Miz trying to sweet talk Andrade.
I like that a lot.
I'm gonna start doing that.
TJ's good as well. Where'd you get that?
It's pretty. I've just
top the old noggin.
I'm gonna have to start doing that on the news. See how Andy reacts to it.
Do you know it's 3 years? I can't believe it's only been 3 years since Cody did the first ever airing of his famous catchphrase.
What do you guys want to talk about?
3 years.
Oh,
really?
I've got bad news. The camera was on the wrong person, so you're going to have to do it again.
He said, well, he was talking
just do it a little bit extra longer as well, so just, in case the clip doesn't work.
Okay, yeah. So this is in AEW, right?
What a ladder behind him.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be promoting Sammy Guevara, but instead he talks about CM Punk and FTR.
What do you guys want to talk about? AEW.
That's it. Those were the exact words in the exact way he said it. 3 years. It should be 20, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it feels a lifetime ago.
Aye. Yeah.
Andrade's there with Miz, and Miz wants to team up. Andrade was like, I beat you. I've learned everything I can from you. Bye. Cody Rhodes walks in, and Miz is like, Can you believe this new crop of talent? Huh? Disrespecting us, old heads? Huh? Me and you, Cody. Hey, but I'll always have your back. Cody's like, I don't need you to have my back. You're the Miz. And Miz just gets in his ear a little bit. Says, yeah, well, last year was you finishing your story. Now it's Jay's story. I know you want to be his mate and all that, but title right there. Destroys friendships. What would you do if Jey chooses you for WrestleMania? There's a little look from Cody there.
Yeah, just Punk started it. The Owens match crystallized it, and now Jey Uso's potential challenge is what's starting to form it as a real thing in Cody's mind, which is the idea that the title will ultimately consume and destroy you. This is a nice story, and I am letting it play out.
Just lends itself so perfectly to Punk versus Cody for this exact reason.
I will let it play out, but for this quite delicate bit of business they're attempting, I remain flabbergasted that they have landed on Solo Sikoa. Like, I don't know how, and I'm more evil than ever, with my hair dyed a slightly different colour. All this stuff that Cody is going through. Yeah, well, you know what? I was feeling quite stressed, but I know I can beat you handily. So you've really taken the pressure off Solo. I don't get it. I don't think it's good booking, but I really like the Cody Rhodes little character study of the being the top babyface. I think, and you're not going to like this, the reason they are doing this is because it lends itself to a John Cena match.
Yeah.
It's John Cena saying, I can see the pressure that you're under, Cody, because I've lived it. I lived it, and I never buckled under that pressure. Like, the things that people wanted me to do that I refused to, because that on your shoulder there was an honor that I held every single day. If you're going to crumble, then I guess it's down to me to take it back and prove that once again, nobody was ever ready to be John Cena. I've heard everybody say you were the next John Cena. And look, 300 days and it's got you like it gets everybody. I feel like all of this is building to Cena.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, if all goes well tonight, I need to really start back in Logan Paul to take out John Cena. He's our only hope.
No, I won't. I've told you.
Double down on drinking Prime.
Him and the New Day drinking Prim. We figured this out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Raw preview if you want to know more about that. Speaking of John Cena.
You don't like him?
No, I do like him.
It's okay.
I want him to win the world title this year. Just not that one and not at WrestleMania.
I like him not covering up his bald spot.
Yeah,
that's what I've been thinking.
There's still love from me for John Cena.
He's owning who he is.
But he's not CM Punk in my book.
No,
so
who is? Yeah.
It's real simple.
I think Cena.
I'll tell you what, WWE, I'll do you a deal right now, okay? I haven't caught up on The Apprentice. I have caught up on Gladiators, and Unleash, quite rightly, as you foresaw and foretold, is one of the greatest new games in all of...
They've done it again. It was The Edge last year. It's Unleashed this year.
Yeah.
Unbelievable scenes. Thank you, the BBC.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. WWE, I'll do you a deal, okay? You put Punk versus Cody, sprinkle The Rock in there if you want, for all I care, right? Main event of WrestleMania Night 2. He's going to be working it. I've said it from the beginning.
Right. What's the date today? Is it the 11th?
Oh, someone pointed... Colton, I think it was. I do apologise if it wasn't this person, but thank you to Colton if it was. Reminding me on WrestleCulture. What did Rock say he was?
20 steps ahead.
What number did Jey Uso come out of the Rumble?
20, maybe?
Coincidence?
Stop this.
That is brutal.
All bloodline, innit?
Yeah.
Take the Rumble winner out of the equation. Okay.
What was this? What was that in the end?
Itchy chin.
Wait and see, mate.
Itchy chin.
Itchy chin.
Yeah.
Chinny Bill. Chinny Bill.
The only law that he's
You're
developed.
going to be champion, Chinny Bill.
The only law that
Does
he's
everyone else have
developed.
Chinny Bill?
Hang on, I want to Nicholas's law, and then we need to get back to that.
He doesn't know how to use his fingers. That's
I don't know what to do with my hands.
When he's got back, he's lost his head, and he doesn't know what to do with his hands anymore.
Knife gun.
It's like, and this also lends to the reason why he had the eyebrow. Because if you look at his eyebrow, you can't be looking at his hands. Man's never known what to do with his hands, apparently.
Well, what did he do? What was his hand, just to remind me?
It's like a...
Knife gun.
Okay, and what did he do when he put up the ones with Roman Reigns?
He's a big fat loser, mate.
Loser.
So,
I thought you were going to do like...
Double if anything.
So he's a double loser.
Wait a minute, double knife gun? Oh, they're rocking the Hardys. Right, got it. Right.
Hey,
sorry, no. Chinny Bill.
You don't have Chinny Bill?
No.
Nicholas Chinny Bill?
Pass.
Chinny Recon.
Oh, Chinny Rec. I heard, yeah, we had Chinny Bill.
When somebody's lying?
Yeah, Chinny
Bill.
Chinny Bill.
Who is the Bill?
What?
Let us know in the comments. Goldberg, probably.
Where's Michael Sidgwick when I need him?
Chinny Recon we had.
Chinny Retcon.
Recon.
Chinny Reckon, yeah.
Chinny Reckon.
Must come from Reckon, yeah, I guess.
I think down south, do you know what I think that? I'll swear I've seen this on one of those talking heads, like, remember this from when you were in school? And here's some washed up celebrities talk about it.
Yeah.
Someone said, oh yeah, we used to do Tutankhamun. And I was like, what the hell is that? This is Knockdown Ginger all over again.
Knockdown Ginger. I get
Getting it all wrong.
I love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Deeply. And yet, it's obviously a Chesterfield thing. Your area's things make my itch. Chinny Bill, someone's eating the nog end.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go for a game of Knockdown Ginger.
We don't do Knockdown Ginger. We do Knock It or Run.
Oh, that's
don't
fine.
do Taras with that, bro.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I thought you were a Knockdown Ginger guy. I don't like.
No. I think that's down south
That
again.
was just school for him, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was pretty much year 7, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, God.
Getting too real here.
Stay down, Ginger. It's a game I used to play with all the big lads.
It's the reason.
All the year 9s really liked
I
it.
just lay there and covered my face till they went away.
It's the reason I don't like people touching the back of my head.
Oh, more on that in a bit, by the way.
Stay down, Ginger.
We see...
They're all shouting. I was playing too. I was singing. I was on the floor going, stay down, Ginger.
John Cena's promo from the Royal Rumble press conference. Ooh, I'm going to put myself in the chamber.
What's going on with you and Cena?
I want Punk to win. I don't care about anyone else. I just want Punk to win.
I thought he had a good Rumble scene. I know that he got like, there's the bit when like Roman's there and he's going, wow.
The Braun Strowman, like,
Wow!
come on.
I got him! And then Punk's coming out and he's going, even bigger, wow! And then Seth Rollins there, holy f***ing wow, guys! I know he kind of only had one bit.
I really like the
I
pretty,
thought the
which one of you
Jey
pretty
Uso
boys can get it. And
Yeah.
you still think I'm pretty? That was funny.
The Jey Uso stuff was really dramatic, I thought.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I thought he did a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him getting a bit of criticism last week, and I thought maybe am I looking at a different? Maybe I've got a bit more emotional investment in this last Cena run. I think he's up for it, and that.
But you got a year.
I know, but the press conference, like all of it, basically, I think the John Cena project is going to work, and if it means Cody at WrestleMania, I'm down for it, and I'm seeing you get increasingly.
I'd rather, personally, mainly because I'm going, I'd rather see Punk, Cody at WrestleMania.
I'm worried the match is never going to happen, obviously.
I think they'll do it at SummerSlam if they don't do it. And we're not guaranteed to be we should be, but we're not guaranteed to be going to that one.
All it's rooted in.
Yeah. It's very selfish. I've never seen CM Punk wrestle. You don't understand this.
You can enjoy him in this
Ever.
in this triple threat pitch.
And to be fair, I've only ever seen him in a 3.5-star match, so...
Yeah.
There was you missed the ratings on Friday, didn't you? Star ratings.
Oh, yeah.
We'll circle back to that when we go back downstairs. Okay. Right.
What's he bloody done? What was it? Rumble and Dynamite. Can't think of anything. I'm trying to think of anything that would have tipped everything upside
Stax
down.
versus Rich Holland. Anyway, out comes the newest member of SmackDown, Drew McIntyre. I actually intended that one for once.
That's good, sorry.
He's officially back on Friday nights, and he talks about being pissed off at the Royal Rumble, smashing the place up, and then driving home. He's angry at being eliminated by a coward at the Rumble. But the next morning, he woke up next to his hot wife and had an epiphany. I'm jacked and handsome. I've won at life.
Yeah.
Glimpses of the old Drew here. The one just before he won the Rumble, of course. He says Raw's a toxic workplace full of egomaniacs who punish you for being a good guy and telling the truth. But he can see clearly now because the SmackDown GM has told him you can be 100% Drew. 100% Iron Drew on SmackDown.
The Drew brand.
Indeed. And he's here for Cody and what he's got, the WWE Championship.
Had a full fat Iron Brew over the weekend. I'm generally...
Good hangover cure, that.
I'm mostly on sugar-free, zero, max, etc. drinks at the moment. I'll treat myself in America because you can fill your cup up over and over again. I like 3 per meal. But like the generally speaking at the moment, the calorie intake is such that I'm trying to stick to it. And then I was just tired. I got a full fat one. And I
Blew your head off.
could have taken the world on. Honestly, felt amazing.
Should we run home, Adele?
It's like a dessert, isn't it?
Oh, it is, man. Honestly,
It's
Go back to a
delicious.
sugar-free one. Like it's like thicker, isn't it?
Have you had the Raspberry Ripple Iron Brew yet?
Yes, because it's in the zero range. The raspberry one, the blue one, and then there's some like a cream soda flavour one as well. They're all in the Iron Brew. What do they call it?
Limited edition?
Yeah, but it's not like Max or Zero. They've got their own way of phrasing how it's diet based.
Extra.
Extra. That's
Extra. Drink.
Extra drink. Which is what you can have because it's calorie free. It's got a lot of caffeine in there.
Jimmy Uso interrupts. Good promo again here from Jimmy Uso. Big Jim's nailing it.
Big Jim, guys. Big Jim's all right by me.
He says, you're living in the past, Drew. You sound like an ex-bloody girlfriend. No one ever stole anything from you. And tonight, I'm going to beat you and earn my spot in the chamber. McIntyre says, a couple of weeks ago, I'd be angry about what you said, but I'm cool now, Jay. Sorry, Jimmy. I keep getting mixed up. 20 years, I still can barely tell them apart, but he's the successful one, he effectively says. If only you'd said yeet first. Jim had a nice fire back. I can say yeet. I can say no yeet. Crowder with him for all this.
Yep.
But I'm the bigger brother. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to WrestleMania. Oos. And then L.A. Night.
Yeah.
Music hits. And he walks out and he says, well, I don't like you either, Jimmy Uso. You're the reason I'm not WWE champion. But then he does a nice moment. He talks about mental health, says it's okay for men to cry. Basically, so he can get away with then saying there's only 3 things that are guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Drew McIntyre crying like a baby. So is it good to cry or not now?
A bit mixed this, wasn't it? If you watch this isolated, you'd think, Christ, WWE of all companies acknowledging mental health and men's mental health. And is it like maybe even mental health awareness?
Oh, maybe,
possibly?
yes.
But WWE acknowledging that's very unlike them. And doing it through a loudmouth top babyface who typically has, arrogance as his main shield against all the baddies of the world and all that kind of thing. Quite impressive. Quite nice that they've done that. And then, as you point out, it's really because they want to have their cake and eat it. They want to have the cake and eat it, Drew, because somebody's nailed Drew McIntyre in the office and thought, well, we've got to get that on telly.
That was good stuff.
We've got to get that. How can we get that on telly? And they've decided to do that as well.
Fizzing, I'm looking to see if what you said was correct, and I've just discovered we've missed our chance. Friday was National Work Naked Day. Son of a bitch. Wait till next year now. Although, what do you reckon? They can't see.
Not a lot, mate.
It's cold, all right.
Hang on, so wait a minute, but Friday, it was Friday this year?
Yeah.
It'll be Saturday next year. You're like, I'm going into work, just you, the office is completely shut and you're stark bollock naked. Let me in. I want to work in the nude. Imagine doing it last year. Imagine having to do Dynamite, Billy Bollico. You're already feeling pretty down in the dumps. It's like, is it cold? No, I've just got to review Dynamite.
This is the nude.
Very good.
Did naked news for a bit as a punishment, then we just binned all that off.
God, what a hateful set of ideas.
Yeah. Anyway, he's going to kick both their ass and give them both something to actually cry about. Yeah, he got the Drew McIntyre line in.
Good line.
Which is good.
Yeah,
and then he also said, oh, wait, I forgot to get my stuff in. And then did his catchphrase. I liked all this.
Yeah. The Drew McIntyre stuff was bollocks at the time, and it was bollocks here, and it's just a load of bollocks. Like, oh, he's dead mad. Off. Like, I didn't think it then. I watched the footage back, and I wasn't 100% convinced about the validity of how the information made it to the internet, shall we say. Just off.
Well, we got the match. A triple threat, actually, for once, to determine a spot. And he's done one, and he's like, well, I can't have just one. Right. But I do like the other one he's got coming up as well. He's got a few, actually, but one in particular.
But they're mostly singles matches, or in John Cena's case, just get to play, so we're just making up as we go along.
Yeah,
right,
okay.
Good,
Drew versus Jimmy versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
We join in progress. There's a shoot fight between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, because Drew smacks him on the back of the head.
Yeah.
Well, it's not me, so it's funny. If it had been me, I'd have killed him. I'd have killed Drew McIntyre.
Did you feel him, sir, in that moment?
Yeah. Anyway, Jim hits a Samoan drop, but Knight breaks up the pin. Knight runs into a headbutt from Drew McIntyre, who chucks him across the ring. Goes back to Jimmy, suplexes him. Belly to belly's Knight across the ring whilst Jimmy's in a corner. He's smiling away. He's loving this, Drew. But Jimmy comes back, throws Drew to the outside, dives onto him. Knight joins them both on the outside and smashes both their heads off the commentary table and stands tall to take us to a break. When we come back, Drew's trying to go up top, but Jimmy crushes him on there. Knight comes in, cuts Jimmy off, stomps on McIntyre, and this was a really beautiful looking spot. So you've got basically Drew's in a tree of woe, isn't he? Jimmy's beating up a bit on the top rope, and LA Knight does his big jump up to the top rope to suplex him back in. But as he does that, he gets caught. So it's effectively like, I don't know what you call it.
What? Yeah.
Drew sits up, grabs LA Knight, who's at the same time is chucking Jimmy off the top rope.
I've completely blanked on when there's 20 of them.
Tower of Doom, yeah.
Yeah. It was sort of like he kind of turned...
German suplex of doom.
Yeah. He turned it into... It was like... Because it was all stacked, wasn't it? So
yeah.
I would say it was like a Tower of Doom.
Oh, my God.
Knight.
Thank you for that.
DDT's McIntyre, goes up top, hits that elbow of his, but Jimmy breaks it up. Knight ends up being spine busted by a McIntyre. Just kicks out. McIntyre sets up for a Claymore, but Jimmy super kicks him out of the ring. Super kicks him, then clotheslines him outside. He super kicks LA Knight, does Jimmy Uso, hits an Uso splash. 1, 2, Drew McIntyre pulls the referee out of the ring. And in the end, it looks like LA Knight's gonna, after there's like a roll up on Jimmy by LA Knight, he sets up for the blunt force trauma. I love this spot. He's got him, and from out of nowhere, from behind to the back of the head, he claymores LA Knight, does Drew McIntyre to get the 1, 2, 3 and punches ticket for the Elimination Chamber.
It was nicely worked, this, I will say. The LA Knight problem persists in that he is, at times, so over as a babyface that you kind of still think, could they go with him?
What's he doing at Mania?
Yeah, like he's had his mid-card title run. He talked himself up as a favourite for the Rumble, but none of us really bought it. And then you put him in a situation like this where, yes, you don't buy the Rumble, but you go, chuck him in the bloody... It's a bit of a hair ruffler, isn't it? I'd chuck him in the bloody chamber if you want. I would have bought him winning, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
And then, because they've done such an effective job with Jimmy Uso, whilst I didn't think he was going to win, I was quite invested in it in the context of this match. I quite liked it when he got pulled out for the near fall and stuff, and I was like, oh, bloody hell. Like, it's such a shame that Jimmy Uso keeps falling just a little bit short, because for the first time in his career, he feels like he might be able to get to that level. And we've seen, this is the helpfulness of the Jey Uso push, is that we've seen that they've actually committed with Jey Uso. So who's to say that now, as a babyface, a really likable babyface as well, Jimmy Uso is going to find his own way over a period of time. Too soon, but nonetheless, you think, well, you're 1 in 6 in a chamber. That's 5 people that have to lose. Jimmy Uso can be a loser in a chamber. So can LA Knight. It's why Drew McIntyre winning had its own sort of drama to it, because you could have easily bought either of the baby faces. I don't know if Drew McIntyre has it in him to do what many wrestlers have done at this time of year, which is see what's planned for his WrestleMania and turn it into something different. We said it after the Rumble, mate, you might just have to eat Damien Priest and don't like the taste of it. And I don't think that's a punishment by any means. I think both of them getting a singles match is not bad for where they are on the card.
Sure, a singles match would be really good. Just bombs, as we've said.
Keep it brief. But maybe Drew McIntyre sees something else in this and is thinking, get in this match, and then who knows, maybe I can convince people otherwise. I would be remiss if I did not say that one of the many ways in which, of all the ways Jimmy Uso's kind of managed to get a bit of traction, it would be in how we've all really taken to affectionately calling him Big Jim. It's a bit of a nickname, would you say? How do we arrive at the nickname Big Jim for Jimmy Uso? Because that's the crazy thing with nicknames. You just never know that's because he's the bigger of the two Usos and he's called Jim, isn't he?
Yes.
What are some other nickname stories?
Well, thank you to everyone who sent these to us after the preview. I think my favourite one, Jules sent us one that says, the best one for nicknames is my friend Liz. She christened me Jules in the second year of primary school after Jewel of the Nile.
Well, the film?
Yes.
Michael Douglas. Maybe.
She's also given the following names to people in her inner circle: Cloddy and Fufax. Someone else called Fireman Sam because he looks like Fireman Sam.
Good. I like that.
She's basically...
Hang on, Jules isn't called Jules?
I don't know now.
This is huge.
I don't know now. Why was that funny? I don't know why that was. I don't know now.
There was. Where was the one earlier? There was
Michael Douglas. It was Jewel of the Nile.
Michael Douglas. Yeah, there was Jewel of the Nile, and there was another Jewel-related one. There would be ITV quite a lot when I was younger.
I think the Crown Jewel, mate.
Most definitely not that.
Yeah, you're thinking the Crown Jewel. Sorry.
I think it was Jewel in the Crown. I think you might be right.
Okay.
Trey Gibson, who I've just seen before and thought, fine. Trey Gibson, whatever. Trey Miguel. My nickname throughout my 20s was Treater. I go by Trey because I'm the third.
Nice.
But my real name's Peter. Peter and Trey. Treater.
Nice. I like that.
Thank you, Trey, for that.
Treater.
My favourite one. I swear Matt Rain sent us one. I can't find it. Sorry about it.
Oh, I saw that one. Matt, and he was burying it, and it still popped me. He got nicknamed Sunshine.
Oh, yes.
Rains. That works for me.
That was good. But my favourite one comes from Nath, NC Payne on X. My brother Connor used to work for a popular English-Italian food chain. The regional manager that covered the local area was coined Man Bat, as his name was Wayne Bruce.
Good.
That's good.
That is nice.
Very good.
I like that.
Man Bat.
I want some more of them. Keep them coming in.
Yeah,
if you
please
listen to
do.
this, and either yours or people that you're aware of from school, doesn't matter how dumb they are. Who's is it a friend or a friend? And there's a bungalow kicking around in somewhere.
I've heard it on a podcast or something. Yes,
Yeah.
He's only got one story, so his nickname's Bungalow.
Just looking to see if there's any kicking around here that I can read.
That is
You
rough.
carry on and all
There's
that.
one in the comment section on
There is,
YouTube.
but
That's SmackDown. We can't read it,
Can't
but
read
thank
that
you for
one.
it anyway.
It's not
It's
on.
popped us.
Can't read that one. It was funny though.
Yeah. Speaking of Damian Priest, he's interviewed by Byron Saxton when Braun Strowman walks up and reveals next week, or this week I should say now, Braun Strowman versus Damian Priest versus Jacob Fatu. And Strowman says Priest going to be in the ring with a wild animal and a monster next week. Priest says he's not overlooking anyone. That triple threat sounds.
Oh my God.
Could be, yeah. It's Jacobs, isn't it?
No, it's Damian Priest. And then Jacob's going to go off with Braun.
Of course, yeah.
Not a
I realised this after the Raw preview where we were like, yeah, Jacob Fatu in the chamber. And then I was like, no, Damian Priest has to be in there to cost Drew to set up them.
Right, you're so right.
Yeah, sorry. I know how much you like doing the SmackDown review.
Yeah, sorry.
Of this, and you don't like tangents, obviously, but it's a slightly long-winded, and I suppose it only makes sense if you ever watch the show. But Dan of the Dragons
Oh, yeah.
is in the comments of the YouTube comment section saying, I also had a friend that got his nickname from Hey Arnold. Someone at school couldn't see the projector and said, "Why is your head so tall? I can't see." His mate then shouted, "Move it, rugby ball head."
Ah,
as
nice.
opposed to "Move it, football head." Gilbert sponsored rugby balls at the time, so we used to call him Gil.
That's great.
Gil. I
So
love
it's
that.
like the amount of layers
so
that go into
convoluted to
this.
be like, why do they call you Gil?
Yeah, you never want it to be the first layer, do you?
Nah,
You want it to
it's
go
like-
back a few.
I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you, Dan and the Dragons, for that.
There you go.
Rugby ball. Arnold did have that perfect American football shaped head, didn't he?
Yeah.
Arnold was so great.
It was goated, yeah.
So
Great.
good.
I love the little handshake, man.
Yeah.
Vince.
Oh, nice. It looked like a
Good time.
cool little area, didn't it?
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to live in that world. And Arnold had a really great room.
Yeah.
Like had the top floor of that. The granddad and the grandpa would annoyed the out here, but the room itself was a pretty good deal. And like he didn't wear trousers and it was fine. He just had his big shirt. He had a jumper over the top of a big shirt, didn't he?
I think so.
I did Google him.
Didn't wear trousers.
Hey,
He's Donald Duck.
It could
is
be
he?
a kilt, I suppose.
No, it's a big shirt.
Okay.
Like every now and
Oh,
then.
no, he's got the... Yeah, you're
Take
right.
his jumper off and it was just like a massive shirt. And he's like, this is so cool. I don't need trousers.
I mean, he's got little tights on, though, right?
Yeah, you're right, actually. He's got
Oh, Charlotte Flair's in it.
Either that or it was that Helga Pataki.
That's her when she's trying to be a baby face.
I like, where is he?
This one.
This guy here. Every
There's
hour
me in it. Put some glasses on him.
I think he was called Eugene, and his hair was styled to look like an open can of food.
Ah,
The
yeah.
guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Helga would like have this little moment where she'd always be like, like speaking in like really flowery language. I love Arnold. If only I could tell him how I feel. Da, da, da. And then it was like a really funny gag they did every time. It'd cut to him breathing nasally and loudly
Yeah.
next to her.
Just say punch him.
And then she'd just smash his face in. And he'd forget until next time. Or he was too scared to reveal it.
It's a good bit, though.
It was a good bit.
Yeah.
It was.
You know Arnold's surname?
Hey.
Copyright.
Arnold. No, but I do because I've Googled it in the past.
Arnold Shortman.
Yeah. There was a great was like a whole bit of lore where there was this character who was like a Dean Martin lounge singer who had like a big fall. I think it was called Dino Spumoni or something like that. It might be a different kids show. And it, like they were like songwriting partners and they'd fallen out. They were kind of like Rat Pack era guys. And like the song was like, I'd smash your f***ing face in, buddy, or something like that. It was just about hitting each other really hard.
That's what they said.
That's what I was.
That's what they used to say.
Nickelodeon was time.
They were fine with it. Arnold's got no trousers on and they're shouting that.
Stinky Peterson.
Is Stinky Pete the heavy breather?
No, he's this guy over here.
Oh, okay. Stinky Peterson.
We'll circle back to this.
Alvin and the Pig. There was a kid called Stoop Kid.
Yeah.
Who just sat on his
Stoop Kid,
stoop.
I
like
Stoop
that.
Kid,
I kind of got that.
It's a good gimmick.
Tray boy. Just sits his dinner off his tree. Stoop Kid had a life I could get on board with. But it was a serious message about fear of crowds or something, wasn't it? If I get off the stoop.
There's Dino Spumoni.
Dino Spumoni, was that
work.
what it was?
Yeah.
I'll smash your f***ing face in, buddy. If you a match in or something like that. That was it. It was a whole deal. Got a big song.
Right, we have to get to this Kevin Owens promo because it was genuinely...
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was Hey Arnold quality.
So we see...
So much of this show left to go.
Yeah, there's so much to go.
Sorry, guys.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, what happened on Raw, him killing his best friend, of course, and then Owens in his car, but cutting a very different sort of car promo. This time he talks about how much he and Zayn have been through. He says, look at this, the cuts and bruises and scars on my face. The pain I suffered in that match may never go away, and it's all your fault, Sami. You watched as Cody tried to end my career and maybe my life, effectively, he implies. You did nothing. And then later on, I watched you rush to the aid of Roman Reigns after not helping me, effectively. You're a horrible friend, a disgusting human being, and I will never forgive you. I will make you pay, says Kevin Owens. This was incredible.
Yeah, the promo of the year, cut by anyone not named CM Punk.
Yeah.
Go out of your way to watch it. If you watch this instead of watching SmackDown, we watch WWE, so you don't have to, whatever it is. It's 90 seconds, find the time. It is...
You thought, he's got completely justified in what he's saying there.
He's done it again. Yeah. Kevin Owens is an underrated wrestling actor. There's not many good ones. He's one of the good ones. So you can completely buy everything he's saying because of the conviction with which he delivers it. He sells the physical agony of his words like he was selling the physical agony of the ladder match when he attacked Sami Zayn on Raw. Like, it felt like the words were hurting to come out of his mouth. And they have to, because he's got to buy this nonsense. Like, as the villain of this particular story between these two that will fight forever, he's got to buy this. And when we boo him for it, he's got to be disgusted that we would boo him for it. And that's his job and that's his task, and he's achieved it with flying colours. The bit about how, and like, it's the tell. The tell of the heel being that, like, you're this far gone, mate. You've lost all sight of things. The moment he considers the idea that Cody Rhodes was trying to kill him, is both funny and also delusional to the point where you can immediately take everything else he's going to say and think, you might think this, but you were in the wrong for that. I, the fan of the baby face, us, the fan base, are not gaslighting you as you are going to accuse us of doing. And then the idea that, as we talked about in the Raw preview, he will never forgive Sami Zayn. Well, spoiler pal, you will, and then you'll fall out all over again.
Great.
And this is forever. It is. I mean, we said it on the podcast and we took a bit of grief for it. Because they're now people, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are not being held aloft as many of the greats gone by, because the thing about being a great is it doesn't matter how long your tenure lasted. It doesn't matter how much business you did or didn't do, or how ultimately it just becomes the past, and what might have actually only lasted like a couple of years in real time may as well have lasted 100 in people's memories. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are 10 years deep into the WWE chapter of the story. That's discounting PWG and Ring of Honor. They're only a decade into the WWE run, and they're coming up on, like, they've both main evented WrestleManias. They're coming up on their third WrestleMania involved directly together, and that discounts all the other amazing work they've done. And realistically, what became the heart of the bloodline at its like creative peak, I would say, was rooted in these two and their friendship and long-standing relationship. They're Brett and Shawn, and anyone else you want to compare them to, are probably the most vital players in modern WWE that have never been the top guys. Like, as Brett and Shawn weren't. They were never Hogan. They were never Austin and then Rock. Sami Zayn have never been Roman and never been Cody, Sami and Kevin. But they're like as, if not more important, because they're the cogs of all of this.
Just incredible.
Incredible.
Then we got Melo versus Akira Tozawa. He called Tozawa Cody Rhodes when he was left in the dryer too long and then slagged off, local sports team. Yeah. Jay Morant saying, well, at least Melo would make the All-Star team. Tozawa got a brief moment to shine here. He actually took him out on the outside with a crossbody, takes to a break and fired up when we got back, even hitting that sunset flip from the top for a near fall. But in the end, Melo catched him, clothesline, springboard DDT, nothing but net.
Did that.
Yeah, the old shovel, didn't he?
Melo looked like really cut and jacked out there. And I know it's not like a new thing or anything. He's not had that overnight. But maybe it was just seeing him win and be super confident again that illustrated that more or something. But it was just nice seeing him in that position.
The wonderful Joe Tessitore gives us an update on... Well, he doesn't. He tried to give us an update on Roman Reigns, but they can't get a hold of the wise man. What's going on there? Jerry the King Lawler's there, and then R-Truth is walking backstage with a very injured Akira Tozawa. He spots Jay, drops him immediately, leaves his mate, runs over.
You just hear it. Tozawa hits the deck.
Runs over to Jay, congratulates the king of the ring. And he's like, I won the Rumble. Yeah, whatever. And he says, your mate's all right. And R-Truth says, oh no, he's yeeted on himself.
Why?
Cody and Jay had a moment after this as well.
What hold does R-Truth have on me that this stuff keeps getting me? But when he dropped Tozawa, whoa, Jey Uso! You got me again, Ron.
I'd have these two host WrestleMania.
Me too.
Class.
R-Truth may have just landed himself in the Alpha Academy story as Akira Tozawa's new best mate.
Ooh.
Through one funny segment together, he might have done it again. They popped me.
Keeps thinking Chad Gable's still part of it.
Yeah. Hey, Shorty G, you're getting big.
Look how big you are. He completely sees through if he does the... Because he's going to learn the dark arts, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Just immediately sees through any costume. All right, Chad.
Yeah, he's the smartest guy in the room all of a sudden.
Yeah. Right.
No, he'd probably call him Rey Mysterio or something. Whoa, it's Penta.
Charlotte Flair comes out.
Oh, God.
She says, hi, Memphis. Boo! I think they might have finally realised she's a heel now.
Have you decided what I am today? We've known what you are for 10 years, mate.
Yes. Yeah, not many babyfaces say, well, when you boo me, I see money because I live rent-free in your head. So I think they might have pivoted, finally.
Maybe.
Everyone's obsessed with everything Charlotte Flair. Everyone thinks that she thinks she's better than everyone. But did you really think I would be gone for 14 months and not win a Rumble? All the other women are unserious. There's no way she's going over the top rope. She reminds everyone she's the first two-time Royal Rumble winner. And talked about going to see Rhea on Raw, Julia on NXT, and tonight she wants to see if Tiffany Stratton, who comes down, crowd lover. She's the babyface in this. Yeah. Tiffy time chants. And she said, congratulations, Charlotte. No, she's a bigger Charlotte fan than me. She said, I wasn't sure if WWE could survive without you. And then I come along and took ourselves one up, and WWE's hotter than ever before. Yeah. Charlotte just looked at her and went, you say something? Sweetheart, you speak when I can say you speak.
Yeah.
The babyface is here. Stratton fires back, says, I've always been compared to you. I've always been compared to Charlotte Flair. One better. Pick me though, and I'll prove I'm the one and only Tiffany Stratton. And Charlotte says, I called Rhea Ripley a kid on Raw, but you're a child begging me to make you a star at WrestleMania. And if you really want me to pick you, why don't you get your hands on knees and beg?
What was this?
It's funny. Well, because more importantly, here comes the Queen. Nia Jax is here. We're getting a shoot fight at WrestleMania. Let's go. Jax comes out with Candice LeRae and says, this blondie back and forth's cute and all, but I'm going to be champion by the time WrestleMania rolls around, because next week, when she said it then, she's fighting Tiffany for the WWE Women's Championship.
How's that then? Saves the job of the Elimination Chamber, the Royal Rumble, winning matches.
It's a rematch. She's getting a rematch.
We don't do rematch clauses anymore. They were really clear about that several years ago.
Well, when you're the Queen.
Oh, asked and answered.
And
don't you feel stupid now?
I do.
Charlotte says, I think I'm going to stick around. See this next week and inevitably pick Tiffany Stratton.
I hated this. I hated it. I'm not into the Charlotte Flair return. And
I liked it because I thought they might have finally realised she's a heel.
Yeah. And great this week. But there's always next week.
Yeah.
The thing with Charlotte Flair, there's always another show. I just feel like so far so bad for Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair in this WWE, we talked about this in the Raw preview. Sige liked it, and I dare say other people will enjoy it for the sense that like she is an agent of chaos, and like a lot of people want a bit more of WWE, like not going off the rails entirely, but just a few characters that are disruptors. And Charlotte Flair is a disruptor, whether, like, sound like that kid in SummerSlam, whether she wants to be or not, she's a disruptor.
Yeah.
Right? And you get these reactions and whatever, and it just seems, to be fair, she seems more natural when she's just absolutely burying these challenges in 6 foot of dirt. Yeah. So, like, she felt more natural telling the world champion Tiffany Stratton to beg for a WrestleMania. What are we doing? Like,
I think the dynamic should lean into the story, yeah.
The dynamic is at least set if that's what they're doing. I just found it so off-putting. And then for Nia Jax to come out and go, well, it's fine, I got title shots, all y'all. Like, where's that come from? It's bad booking. It's a bad booking of a bad division, and I don't think I need the match now, because that's kind of all you've got with Charlotte Flair is the proof of the pudding, and the match is supposed to like back all of this up.
Unless it was contract season, transfer window, and it's like, you've got to stay on SmackDown. Well, how are you going to convince me? I'll give you a title match. You're the Queen. We need to keep you on SmackDown.
I don't think I've missed her. I thought when she came back at the Rumble, it was really nice to see her. It's been 3 shows. I'm like, bugger off again.
Oh no, I meant the Queen is in Queen Nia.
Queen Nia, not Charlotte Flair.
But I also really like the idea of next week of like Tiff 1, 2, 3, yay, and then you just see Charlotte. Congratulations, Tiffy, but you're facing me at WrestleMania.
All right,
bring back the
She brings that back, and I've got one more week of patience with her.
And Alexa Bliss came out because she's facing Candice LeRae, who's going to qualify for the Elimination Chamber out of these two. Sorry, Candice, but come on. Yeah. Although Alexa Bliss sort of told the story of kind of getting back into it, she was struggling. LeRae targets her neck and her back, and she plants her in the corner, face first, and poses as we go to a break. When we come back, she's chucking around all over the place. But Bliss fires up, slaps her around. There's a neck breaker, though, as Alexa Bliss looks like she's rolling in a neck breaker by Candice LeRae. She goes up top, hits a missile dropkick for 2. But Bliss catches her and hits the Abigail DDT to get the 1, 2, 3. Alexa Bliss is in the Elimination Chamber.
I did not expect the Kenny Omega Real Sports selling long time off stuff to come from Alexa Bliss. I mean, that's where the comparison ends, because her offense looked absolutely piss poor. Like the strikes and everything looked terrible. She's added that kind of like, I'm hesitant to call it a Thez press, but that kind of like jump and punch deal. Looks awful. But who cares? Really, really over. Is already back in the mix. Like, glad she's in the glad she had to qualify, glad she won, glad she's in the chamber.
Yeah.
Honestly pleased to see her immediately put back at that level. Super over. Obvious, like, deep relationship with the audience that you could see at the Rumble that's now been built to Elimination Chamber. I'm glad she's in it. I would like to see a little bit more from her in the ring as she shakes the rust off.
We're backstage with the US champion, Chelsea Green, who's going to face Naomi next week in a chamber qualifier. B-Fab and Michin walk in, and Michin reminds Chelsea she's still coming for that title. So does Zelina Vega, and Piper had a nice line. How many people hate you?
Yeah. They were apparently, was it Blair Davenport was on the shortlist for the other, they teased a second presidential guard. She was released, obviously, unfortunately, but I guess that means they're still thinking about that idea.
Yes.
There might be somebody else that gets to step in.
This was when we got that awesome Street Profits vignette. They say they wouldn't be here if the Guns hadn't stolen their spot. They're sick of DIY as well. Great sort of energy here from Angelo Dawkins. Montez Ford loves it as well. They're done being victims. They've got their passion back. They're pissed off. They're sick of teams breaking up and then getting back together when they realize the grass isn't greener as a singles act. We've always been together and careful because now we want the smoke.
I just hope it's not another false dawn.
Yes.
Love this, love them. Want this to be the one this time.
Machine Guns respond by challenging. Alex Shelley challenges them to step up. Then Los Garza walks in and Berto says, yeah, it's time for new teams to step up. And yeah, they book Los Garza versus Motor City Machine Guns, although there'll be no Electra Lopez like there was here because unfortunately she's been released as well.
Yeah, and we've had this match, haven't we, recently?
Yeah. I think they're all just getting together for a big four-way at WrestleMania, if I'm honest. But still, we got vignettes for all the big lads ahead of that big triple threat. Priest, Braun, Jacob Fatu. I'm loving that next week, this week.
You're right, it's Priest. But the idea of Fatu making it into that Elimination Chambers.
Jacob Fatu's going into WrestleMania effectively undefeated.
Aye, because he'll beat Braun.
You've lost, but you've never been pinned,
Can
have
they
you?
stretch the Braun match to WrestleMania, do you think? If they come up with some wild stipulation.
Well, what happened here, and maybe we'll talk about what he's doing at WrestleMania, because main event was Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. Cody and Tama start the match, and then about 10 seconds into Jacob Fatu comes in and kills Cody. Cody, that takes us to a break. Cody eventually gets the hot tag to Jey Uso when we come back, and he works Tama Tonga over. There's a hip attack on him, a pop-up neck breaker / cutter thing. Fatu comes in and super kicks Jey. Tonga's still the legal man, but it's Jacob Fatu. Who cares? Fatu comes in, knocks Cody off the apron, lifts up Jey, brings in Tama Tonga, who's a springboard splash on Jey Uso. But then Tama Tonga and Jey clothesline each other to reset, double down. Cody gets the hot tag. In comes Jacob Fatu. Cody hits him with a disaster kick, drop down punch. Cody cutter, 1 count. Uh-oh. Cody sets up a crossroads, but Fatu gets out of it, brings in Tama Tonga, who hits like a flatliner for a 2 count. Cody goes up top, but Fatu pushes Cody off there, and Tonga hits him with that jumping DDT for 2. Fatu super kicks Cody and runs the ropes, but Jey cuts him off and super kicks him on the outside to take him out of action, and Cody hits the crossroads on Tama Tonga for the 1, 2, 3. I'm going to let what we're about to talk about next play out, although I'm worried about having to watch another one of their matches. I can't decide if this was lazy or we were supposed to take something from the fact that Cody got the business done and Jey didn't. I kind of felt like this was a bit of a house show main event, and this is just what you'd expect to see. If you were there in person, it was non-televised, and it's like Cody and Jey work together as superpowers. But it's been this week of Jey Uso, and then the time comes and Cody's still the one doing business. Would it not have made more sense to let Jey Uso, Cody step aside a bit, Jey Uso wins the match, and it's further piling on this idea of he's the one with all the momentum. It's his WrestleMania. Or you flip it on his head and Gunther, when he picks him, says, I see, you tag with Cody, you see how good he is, and you think I'm an easier opponent. I'm not.
It may factor in. I just found that odd. I thought this is the week I want to revel in this with Jey Uso, and yet we get to Cody, and it's all in service of what we got next.
Well, so perhaps that might have been the reason why, because the ring clears out, Cody's getting his hand raised, and then Solo Sikoa in a hoodie appears to hit him with the Samoan spike and stand tall. Solo Sikoa is back.
It's not as disastrous as a lot of people would think.
I think it's a massive overreaction to this.
I think it's because the SummerSlam match was a Turkarino, the worst match of Cody's title run thus far, and nobody wants to watch it again in the Sky Dome. And that's what people have thought, because you're seeing Solo challenge him, and it's like, yeah, why not speedrun it? But Cody can be the guy that Solo can credit as being so integral to the downfall of his bloodline. And he can be pissed off, and he's lost his Azula Fowler and all the rest of it. And it's like, well, I've got nothing else left to lose now, so I might as well just try and kill you. They might make it work, but other than Dave Meltzer, everybody hated that SummerSlam match, and I just think people don't want to watch it again. I think more people than us have just done with Solo, and I think that's at the root of. I haven't seen this consternation, but it wouldn't surprise me, because that, I think, was this big moment. Like when Roman beat him, I think there were a lot of people going, right, now we can stop keeping up the pretense that he's anything, because he's not.
I thought it was perfectly fine in terms of, I mean, that match ain't main event in the Chamber. The Chamber matches are obviously. You don't want to fritter away another potential opponent because it's not going to be like what they had with Kevin Owens at the Rumble, for example. And I'm hoping this match, perhaps, Jacob Fatu's instructed to help Solo. Mm-hmm. This is the moment that Jacob Fatu finally goes, I think I'm my own man, actually. And that gets us to Jacob Fatu killing Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania. That's where my brain went, to be perfectly honest. So I was kind of all right with this and intrigued to see what happens with Solo and the new bloodline and the bloodline and The Rock and all that sort of thing.
The Rock.
Huh?
I couldn't help noticing there you kind of summing up in this thing. That sounds actually quite reasonable, the little picture Wilbourn's put together there. And if we could go play the tape again if you wanted.
I don't remember.
I couldn't help noticing at the end of your summary there, your name check The Rock.
Yeah.
How's he factoring still?
Because you said on the news, I took a step back and said, no, you take this story. I don't want to gloat too much. Isn't it true, Michael Hamflett, that you said on the news that now everyone heard that The Rock's not working WrestleMania? Who's going to work WrestleMania?
Like 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I did say that, yeah.
Defense rest or prosecution, which one am I? Anyway, let us know your thoughts on SmackDown in the comments section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there. You can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow our long-suffering producer, Adam Nicholas, at
Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all.
Stoop-related issues raised on that episode.
At WhatCulture WWE, whatculture.com/tickets for all the tickets for our world tour. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. The Raw preview is available right now. Me and Such will be back later on with the Collision review. But for now, this has been the SmackDown review, where we talked, I always forget to do this on our review, about Solo Sikoa returning, Kevin Owens' amazing promo, Bianca, Drew, and Alexa heading to the Elimination Chamber, Pretty Deadly versus DIY, and Charlotte Flair is a heel now?
The SmackDown preview. It's got all this. Buy tickets for our world tour.
It's the review. We'll see you soon.
That one, yeah, review. Yeah.